Yesterday I went to see the re-release of the Blade Runner Final Cut in the cinemas, and it was fantastic. It is a great movie. It had been quite a few years since I last watched Blade Runner, so going into it again after so long, it holds up so well. The visuals are fantastic. Every single scene in this film feels like it could be the poster for the movie. That's how fantastic it is, you know? The city with the rain, the neon lights, the synthwave soundtrack, the crazy costumes, it just holds up so well as this futuristic, crazy vision that Ridley Scott had. And it works. It works so well as a film. The acting's fantastic. Obviously, Harrison Ford as your leading actor is phenomenal, but the supporting cast, particularly the replicants, are all brilliant. They all have distinct characters that feel different from one another. It would have been very easy for every single replicant to be played the exact way, but they didn't do that. Instead, they gave every single one their own personality, which works so well. Does it hold up as a modern film? Yeah, I mean, the visuals, if you were to compare that to a modern film, I think a lot of the special effects look just as convincing now as they did back then. Now, the interesting thing about it is, I remember the first time I watched Blade Runner, I was a teenager, and I liked it, but I probably didn't appreciate it as much as I should have. And now watching it all these years later, you really do recognise that it is genius at work. I consider Blade Runner and Alien to be Ridley Scott's masterpieces. They're his best films in my opinion. He's obviously made a lot of films, a lot of good films, but those just really do capture sci-fi at its finest. Now, I know that periodically they re-release this film in cinemas. You've got to see it on the big screen. It's one of those films that really does benefit from the full gigantic screen, the sound system. It just really does work. I consider it to be one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time. I know a lot of other people do. It's up there when you think about the influence it had with things like Blade Runner and its influence on cyberpunk as a genre. When you think of films like Star Wars, when you think of books like Dune, when you think of books like Lord of the Rings, all influential pieces of media. And Blade Runner's up there. It really is. It holds up so well. And it's one of those rare ones as well where the sequel, all those years later, is also good. I'm really excited for the new Blade Runner show that's coming out, but what do you think? Have you seen the final cut of Blade Runner? It's only a little bit longer than the theatrical cut, but it's so, so good.